And in turn, possession regained by Reo Hatate. Avalanche's pass falls short. Neil Lennon tried to... Stefan Klos got his hand to it. This time he couldn't keep it out. It rolled agonisingly along the goal line. It's 1-0 Celtic.
Stelian Petrov simply hasn't picked up at the back post area. It's a good header, it's a magnificent touch from Stefan Klos. He's very, very unlucky, the ball hitting both posts. It's not in until it's the second post. It's a great touch, Klos, onto the post. It's not in at that point, it's right along the line, but that's when it crosses the line there.
It's only Stelian Petrov's third goal of the season. Goals for him have been hard to come by, but nothing matters more to Martin O'Neill and Celtic than the opening goal in the Old Firm game. That was it on the 19th minute. Thompson's free kick, and it's off the post from Larsson. And a furious exchange between Klos and Rickson.
I'm not too sure if Stefan Klos saves this, but it's a good ball in from Alan Thompson. Larsson getting to it first. No, Klos didn't get a touch on it. If it'd be going in, I'm sure the goalkeeper would have saved it. But not too happy with Fernando Rickson for allowing Larsson to get the shot on target.
That's a brilliant effort by Henrik Larsson. He knows where the goal is. Thompson's corner. John Hartson trying to get there. Stan Varga does. It's 2-0 Celtic. 14 minutes into the second half. A major inquiry at the heart of the Rangers' defence.
Again, it's from the set piece. Rangers can't win the first ball. Lucky to get away with the last shot that hits the post, but from the resulting corner. They lose the first one. It's Bobo Balde who wins it. And Michael Ball standing ball watching, doesn't pick up Varga. Klos tries to get there, can't get there in time. And Varga knocks it in the net from 2 yards, but look at Michael Ball.
Well, there were 3 or 4 Rangers players static inside the penalty box. Celtic were on the move, and Bobo Balde set up Stan Varga for his 4th Celtic goal. And Stefan Klos will feel he's been horribly exposed this afternoon.
Well, as we said before, Celtic are so big at set pieces, but you need a lot of help. You have to make sure there's a decent challenge on the ball so there isn't a clear header. Petrov unchallenged, Varga unchallenged.
In from Michael Ball, and the diving header by Bobo Balde. And Balde representing at the heart of the Celtic defence what Rangers haven't really had at the heart of theirs.
No, he just can't get past Bobo Balde today. He's been immense in the heart of the Celtic defence. He's snuffing out any threat so far.
Malcolm's cross, a little bit of room for Michael Moles. He's tugged the shot wide. A glorious chance to get a goal back.
He's unlucky, Michael Moles. Maybe the first mistake from Bobo Balde. I think the ball just slips through his legs there, giving Moles half a chance. He does everything right across the goalkeeper, but you've got to get it on target. Got to make the goalkeeper work. He's very unfortunate.
And had this gone in, suddenly hope comes alive again for Rangers. And you could see in the reaction of Moles how much that meant that it was the wrong side of the post. Sutton now up alongside Larsson. Has it back, has a free kick. Given against Lovenkrantz.
I think the crowd are looking for a second yellow card for Lovenkrantz. Don't think it's going to happen, no. We see the challenge here, Petrov again involved. Lovenkrantz working back onto Sutton. No question, that was a free kick. A little bit dramatic there from Lovenkrantz afterwards.
Stefan Klos beaten twice already, and he's played superbly.
He's played well, you're right. I wonder if there'll be a shot this time from Thompson rather than the cross. Certainly much closer.
Alan Thompson's effort! A sensational goal from Thompson. Rounds off Celtic's Old Firm win. He does it so well, his 8th goal of the season, and there's no doubt about it now. Celtic are going to move 11 points ahead of Rangers in the title race.
It's a tremendous free kick. We've seen Thompson do this time and time again. It's over the wall, it's just under the crossbar. The goalkeeper's covering the other side. He's got to try and work across. But even Stefan Klos, in the best of form, can't get anywhere near that one. That's got to be classed as a perfect free kick.
It's so accurate, it clips the underside of the crossbar on its way in. Wherever Martin O'Neill is, he's not surprised because Alan Thompson does it all the time.
That's Keane. Hatate. Trying to find Petrov. Petrov has recovered well to get to that. Here's Zurawski. Problems for the defence sorted out by Zambaradi. This is Wilson. Going outside McCunny. And that's the opening goal by Petrov. Deadly play by Celtic, and Petrov at his best.
There you go, right at the near post, across the defender. Halliwell absolutely no chance stopping that.
Craig Wilson will take this. Missed by Boric. Turned in by Campbell. A magnificent header by Andy Todd. And a disaster for Arthur Boric.
Yeah, Boric come out there, absolutely nowhere near the ball. Just come out there, completely missed it. This is a great header back as well, Andy Todd. We've seen him do that many times for Dunfermline.
This is Roy Keane. Petrov well forward. That's a great pass for Zurawski. Zurawski's clear. The block was made, and there's Hartson. Dreadful defending by Dunfermline, and Hartson takes full advantage.
Yeah, poor defending there, but that man there, yet again, right place at the right time. John Hartson, the quicker of the two, and that is a tap-in for him.
Header down by Todd, picked up well by Maloney. This is Hartson, setting up Zurawski. A shot at goal is on, and they don't come much better than that.
How clinical was that? Fantastic play, absolutely super play there from Celtic. I must say Scott Wilson must get closer to Zurawski there, and that is a fantastic finish.
Well, he certainly is so highly regarded, Petrov. Longest serving player at Celtic, would you believe? He signed in 1999. Sign of the times, I think. Zurawski's not offside. Chance for number 4. Zurawski! Deadly!
What on earth were Dunfermline thinking of there? Completely asleep, not switched on, the ball's dead. And quickly, a simple ball over the top, down to the keeper's right-hand post.
Lennon to Keane. They'd already established that Maloney was available before the ball arrived. Keane. This is for Hartson. And now an opening for Zurawski. Well, he miscued it, but it counts, the hat-trick for the Polish striker.
Bread and butter stuff. Bread and butter play. It's a training ground, into your forward, hold the ball up, shield the ball, no better than that from Hartson.
Every Celtic player back inside the box to defend. Played wide there for Burchell. That's a good effort. Much better effort by Burchell. Well, Boric complaining about the wall, but I don't think he had really much to complain about. Mason flicks it in, straight to the head of McManus. Here's Zurawski. Here a chance for Darren Young. Good save by Boric. Breaks there for Mason. Shulsky helping out with Dakin. Not a bad attempt, first time by Dakin.
Flick on the first time side foot volley. Captured at the second attempt there from Boric.
Here's Simmons. McCunny. Simmons again. That's for Dakin to come in the far side. Good knockback. Good attempt by Darren Young. Much better play from Dunfermline.
It's a better play all round.
Flick on from Petrov. Zurawski holding it up for Lennon. That's Telfer. Zurawski's onside this time, no doubt about that. Dublin waits in the middle. Maloney's joining him. So too is Petrov. That's from Maloney. Oh, that's a classic by Maloney. Sheer brilliance.
What a technique that is. Absolutely delightful. He's put his socks off this afternoon. Got up there with the support. And that is a top quality finish.
Petrov. Zabarati got a touch, that prevented the ball reaching Zurawski. Oh, that's dreadful play there by Andy Todd. And Dublin had a chance to open a Celtic account there.
Just taken him by surprise here. Believe that they actually come to that.
Good turn by Lennon, very good turn. Now the pass is important. He's picked out Maloney very well indeed. Maloney fancies another shot at goal, I think. Didn't quite catch that. That's Zurawski. Maloney again, a very neat turn. Lennon. Well, that's what they really would like to see. He scored! Neil Lennon! The first time since December 2001 against Hibs at Celtic Park.
Top you go. Keeper's near post. Well, inside the near post. Getting his hand to it, but not enough.
That's another very good strike by Darren Young and good goalkeeping by Boric.
Good football all around there. Darren Young again hitting the target.
Wally Mason deciding, telling people what to expect. Here goes Burchill. Well, shooting practice here for Boric.
Yep, straight down his throat, pretty comfortable. It's the side he's defending.
This is McManus. Off goes Zurawski. He's getting the better of Todd for pace. This could be his fourth. It is! 8-1 to Celtic.
Straight ball, McManus straight over the top. It's as direct as it comes. Great first touch, back across Andy Todd, into the far post.
Here goes Zurawski. Could it be another? Now Nakamura takes over. Could he do the necessary? Oh, good block by Halliwell. He's still working hard. Well, the face tells the story. A proud man, very good manager over many years. He's had to watch his team disintegrate here. Zurawski helps himself to 4 goals. Neil Lennon even manages one. First time since December 2001. Celtic march on, 15 points ahead. Dunfermline 1, Celtic 8.
Lee Griffiths drives forward down the right-hand side. Still Lee Griffiths, and that's a crunching tackle there from Paul Payton. I think he just about saw that there was a yellow ball there. The ball's cut forward. It's taken off the toes of Forrest, but it's still Rogic. Still a chance for Rogic. Just knocks it beyond Tierney. Tierney does well into the area. It's still Kieran Tierney. Plays it low. Back to Griffiths. Griffiths with a chance. It's in the back of the net. It's Lee Griffiths' first chance of the day. Where else does it end up but in the back of the net? Celtic leading by a goal to 0.
Yes, I think finally the pressure started to tail on the back lot of St Johnstone, and I think it was actually a slack pass. I think Brian Easton lost the ball. Eventually again through the right hand side, it worked its way into the box. Kieran Tierney finally driving it across, and thankfully Lee Griffiths, we've seen that so many times, being in the right place at the right time and then executing a superb finish.
O'Connell wins the header, knocks it into the St Johnstone half, and it's picked up by Sinclair. He nudges it inside to Rogic. He drives forward again. Forrest is there, edge of the box. There's a chance for Forrest, chance for 2-0. It's saved, and Griffiths saved again, and Sinclair at the third attempt. Celtic have scored. 2 wonderful saves from Alan Maris, but there was nothing he could do, and for his second consecutive league game, Scott Sinclair has got on the score sheet.
Yeah, and that's certainly that goal that I certainly hoped for just a few minutes ago. And we got it. I thought it was going to be Lee Griffiths scoring his second goal, but great following up. Goalkeeper Manis made a great save, made 2 great saves. You know, Sinclair following up into the box where you want him to be, and that makes it a lot more comfortable now, the position, just with that second goal.
The ball switched to the left-hand side. Swanson's got a bit of space. He can deliver this one with his right foot, curls it into the box. Beaton clears it up towards the halfway line. Forrest sprints to reach it, so does Griffiths. Griffiths tries to get his body in front of his man, flicks it on to Forrest. Forrest one-on-one with Paul Payton. Still Forrest, drives towards goal. Still Forrest into the box, a chance for 3. Oh, what a goal from James Forrest! Wonderful play from Griffiths to set him up, but Forrest had to do it all, and he did. 3-0 Celtic.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic play from Lee Griffiths first, just to nudge the centre back off the ball and release James Forrest. And then you knew when James Forrest was running up against Paul Payton, there was only going to be one winner there in terms of pace and skill. An absolutely fantastic goal, great composure finally inside the box, where you expect him to hit it with the right foot, or outside his right foot to the right hand side of the goalkeeper. He actually called it the other way to the left hand side, and absolutely stunning goal.
Ball played to Swanson. Swanson in the area. Quite a few blue shots around him. And Henderson challenges, and the referee points to the spot. And it's a penalty kick to St Johnstone.
I think a gust of wind just blew was it Swanson? I don't see there being anything really wrong with that challenge.
It's Swanson against Craig Gordon. St Johnstone with a chance with 8 minutes to go to reduce the deficit. Danny Swanson steps up and he blasts it beyond Craig Gordon, and it's now Celtic 3, St Johnstone 1. And it's played to Swanson. Swanson right hand side of the area, plays it low along the 6-yard box, and it's scrambled into the back of the net. Well, I'm not sure if it is a goal. Yeah, I think Stephen McLean might have got the last touch to it. And St Johnstone have now reduced the deficit to just 1. It's 3 goals to 2, and we have about 90 seconds plus added time. The ball breaks to Henderson. Henderson knocks it into the box towards Sinclair. It's a chance for Sinclair for his second goal. Breaks to Christie, and it's in the back of the net. And Celtic have secured the points. A 4th goal in injury time.
That certainly was a great finish. Eventually play, a great opportunity for Sinclair, but then again, once again, getting players in the box and certainly getting support to the player, and that allowed us to put the game to bed with 4-2 up. So I think this is probably the correct scoreline as it stands at the moment. We should have been far more comfortable, but we just allowed St Johnstone just to get a wee couple of steps into the game.
I met my love by the gasworks wall. The dreams I dreamed by the old canal, and I kissed my girl by the factory wall. Dirty old town, dirty old town. I heard a sigh run from the top, and so a train set the nights on fire, and I smelled the breeze from the smoky wind. Dirty old town, dirty old town. an old sad tree. It's early old town. It's early old town. And the clouds are prancing along the moon. And cats are prowling on their beats. When springs a girl from the streets at night. It's early old town. It's early old town. I met my love by the gasworks wall.
The manager and players got inside quickly because it's a wet one in Glasgow's East End. A month's worth of rain predicted to fall in a 24-hour period. For a city no stranger to wet weather, that is saying something. No issues with the game going ahead though, so Brendan Rodgers and his team arrived at the ground a short time ago to get ready for match day 8 of the Cinch Premiership. There will go some to live up to the excitement of match day 7. For the shot, yes! And he's done it! What a goal from Lewis Palmer! Lewis Palmer with his first goal for Celtic. There's a chance here for Spittle, and he's found the back of the net. Would you believe it? In comes the cross. Have Celtic? Yes! That is unbelievable! Celtic have won this one right at the death. Kilmarnock are the visitors to Celtic Park today with kick-off just half an hour away. They haven't won here since 2012. Kenny Shields was the manager that day. Now, of course, it's Denny McInnes' turn to try and turn the tables on the team sitting top of the league. Yes, welcome along to Celtic TV's live coverage of today's Cinch Premiership match between Celtic and Kilmarnock ahead of a 3 o'clock kick-off. I'm delighted to say I'm joined today by two former Celtic greats. Peter Grant, of course, a regular here on Celtic TV, and Scott McDonald, I'm delighted to say, is here over for a few weeks to Scotland from Australia with his family, joining us for a few moments at the start of the programme. Scott, welcome. How are you?
Thank you. I'm very well. Delighted to be here today. Like you said there, here with all the family. So I've got my 3 kids here today. So really looking forward to the game. Was here Wednesday. Obviously, the disappointment from that in the end was a real sucker punch.
And you're a coach now as well. How's that going?
Yeah, it's great. Really good. It's been successful back in Oz. There's a certain individual we have to follow footsteps on who's doing very well now. Obviously, it was here. Doing well at Tottenham now as well. But it's all about Celtic today. And I'm really looking forward to seeing the reaction of obviously the disappointment from Wednesday night. Yeah,
no stranger to a good few goals for Celtic, Scott. We've picked out a couple here of your time, some great memories of your time in the hoops.
Yeah, absolutely. The biggest memories and just the proudest moments for me, and it's still spine tingling to come back. Even on match days today, and really proud to bring the kids here today and show them what it's all about. That's the special thing for me, to be able to experience this and show the kids today what it's all about to put on the hoops and play for Celtic.
Peter, I know you and Scott work together here at Celtic, but you go back even further than that, I believe.
Yeah, we do. Scott was a young guy at Southampton. And we used to go along and watch this wee guy moaning all the time, so some things never changed.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
But the one thing he was always good at was putting the ball in the back of the net, and he was terrific at that, and he was a pleasure to work with.
And you were at Bournemouth at the time?
Yes, we were. We got playoffs and won the playoffs at Lincoln with a fantastic performance. We won 5-2. Scotty was part of that group, and he was terrific for us. But he was one of these guys that was always hungry to score goals, and that was the reason we retained him. We were delighted to see the career that flourished after that, and that was great respect for the work ethic, and probably that single-mindedness you need as a striker. And he was terrific for us.
Well, we're here today to talk about Celtic Kilmarnock. Let's have a look then at the Celtic starting 11 that Brendan Rodgers has gone with. A couple of changes to this one, Scott. Cameron Carter-Vickers, we're all delighted to see him back for his first start since being out fairly long term with that injury. And Lewis Palmer, you would have to say, deserves his place in that starting 11?
Yeah, absolutely. The impact he's showing, not just obviously on Wednesday night, but you know, coming on and scoring that goal obviously last weekend as well, deserves it. Really looking forward to actually watching him, you know, from the start today as well. No surprise, obviously, Cameron Carter-Vickers comes in, obviously. Maybe a bit surprised that Nat Phillips is the one he replaces, but he's still trying to get fit, I think, as well, Nat Phillips. So, yeah, this is a strong team, and like I said earlier, it's about the reaction from the disappointment on the weekend, during the week there.
Kilmarnock come here, Peter, with really nothing to lose. They've not been great since they knocked Celtic out the League Cup, and as I said at the start, they haven't won here since 2012. How do you think they'll approach the game?
Nothing will change, Jerry, like everybody that comes here. They always make sure it's difficult to beat. They'll sit deep, they'll make it difficult, close the gaps up. And Celtic have to find a way to get by that. And I thought in a couple of games we've struggled a little bit with that. We've had a lot of good possession in certain areas. And I think Brendan spoke about it a few times, that probably in the final third, we've not taken care enough with the final pass or the final cross. And I think Scott will know as a striker, sometimes you've got to put the ball in the box, make them make mistakes. And we've got a couple of youngsters that used to play here, Robbie Dees and Stuart Finlay, who are playing for Kilmarnock, who'll be determined to try and obviously do themselves justice here. But I just think Celtic have got too much. I'm delighted to see Palmer starting because I thought he's done very well last week. I think every time he's come onto the pitch, he's done really well. So I'm excited to see him, and that's what you need to break down this sort of defences.
Scott, you mentioned you were here on Wednesday night for the game against Lazio. I'm sure you were regaling your children with stories of when their dad scored a winner against an Italian team in the Champions League here. It looked like at one point in the game we were going to get a similar score. It turned into heartache. What did you make of the performance?
Look, it was an excellent performance, particularly, you know, leading into obviously scoring this goal. Celtic were well on top. Some of the football they were playing was excellent, and look, you can't blame them in terms of, you know, being a decade and not winning a European Champions League game at home for that length of time. You're going to protect that lead a little bit, and unfortunately it allowed them back in. And look, set pieces are a little bit of a hoodoo for Celtic. You know, if you look at the size of Celtic in these big Champions League games and you play against physicality of the size of, you know, even what Lazio have, you're going to find it difficult in those set-piece moments. But again, it comes from across. The 2 goals last week come from across. So unlucky here, so tight, you know, to pick that it actually came off Diza made at that point. You know, it was a wonderful finish, and he'll take confidence from that Palmer as well, hopefully.
And at the end, Peter, I mean, it looked like it was going to be a draw. A draw would actually, we'd have been pretty disappointed with that, the way Celtic had played, but for it to finish like this was just cruel.
Oh, it was heartbreaking, you know, but listen, we told you at this level, that's what they keep doing. The top teams keep going, they've got top quality players, they're always capably hurting you. But as I say, it was just a bit unfortunate because Carter-Vickers got the ball caught in between his foot. Alistair Johnston's already started on the overlap, and it just shows you at this level with the punishment. We talked about Pedro coming on, he's a big game player, he got the goal. It was a fantastic header. I don't think he get the credit for the header it was, but it was soul destroying for us because it put so much into it. And I think the least they deserved was a draw out the game, so it was just a bit unfortunate.
The irony of course, Scott, was that for all Motherwell fans who were watching or who heard the result, probably thinking, well, now you know how we felt, because it was only a few days ago that Celtic got that late dramatic winner against Motherwell. This domestically, of course, Celtic are dominant, and this game just kind of epitomises what can happen domestically if you give Celtic space.
Absolutely, and you know what? It's really important. Obviously, Brendan Rodgers, you can call him a new manager if you like. Obviously, he just come back to the club, but when you get last-minute goals in games to win your football matches, it just brings an unbelievable belief to the squad itself that they never say die, always get another chance. And here you see it's a wonderful finish from O'Reilly as well. And you know, I was actually on the opposition side of that. You know, probably 5-6 years ago when there was an Aussie that did it, another Aussie that come up trumps that day and beat Motherwell 4-3 and Tommy Rogic on the very last minute of the game as well. So there's always some special games at Fir Park, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Peter, we wouldn't. Listen, it was a great finish, but maybe wanting something a bit more comfortable this afternoon?
Yeah. Absolutely, for sure. It was a fantastic way to finish the game and thoroughly deserved because Motherwell had done a great job. They'd worked really, really hard defensively. Celtic kept probing. As I say, Palmer came on, he set up a chance for James. He did a lot of effort and goal. But I think we got back to it, and you've got to look at Scott Bain playing out because it was easy at that moment to go long with just a one clearance because it was so late in the game. He actually plays the ball out to Nat Phillips, who steps forward, picks a good pass out to Greg Taylor, and a great ball in the box and a fantastic run and finish with Mattarelli, who's done tremendously well. We talked about the St Johnstone game out here. He could have 3 or 4 in that game, but it's not kept him doing that, and he's got his rewards for that, and I'm delighted to see that.
Scott, I know you have to go and join up with your family again. It's great to see you. What are the plans for the future? You're obviously still a young man, just forging a career as a coach. You going to stay in Australia?
Yeah, look, for the time being, I think I'm forging a career over there and a lifestyle as well, and the family are very happy and settled. And look, Andrew's now, 55? I don't think he'll mind me saying that. He's still a young pup, but I'm only 40, so I've got plenty of time and plenty of things to learn. So just looking forward to gradually progressing in the next phase of football and being a coach and following in the footsteps of this man and some others as well, hopefully.
Well, listen, Scott, great to see you.
Yeah, great to see you guys too.
Fantastic. Let's now hear from a man who joined the club in January of 2022. Described at the time as a utility player, Reo Hatate is now one of Celtic's most influential midfielders. We were all delighted last week when he signed a new deal, keeping him at the club until 2028. He's been speaking to Dale and Docherty.
Reo, it's the first chance in a busy schedule to chat with you. Congratulations on getting that contract signed with the club. How does it feel?
セルティックというチームから評価をしていただいてこういう形になったのはすごく嬉しいですし、またこのチームのために自分の力を精一杯出していければいいなと思います。
What made you decide to sign on with the club? Was Brendan Rodgers, the manager, a factor, Reo?
でも、やっぱりいろんな監督とサッカーできるっていうことはやっぱりすごく選手としても成長できることにもなりますし、やっぱりそれが一つの要因でもありますし、それが全てってわけでもないですけど、ただそういういろんな監督とプレーできるっていうことはすごくありがたいチャンスだなと思いました。
You joined the club in January 2022. You made an instant impact with goals against Hearts and Rangers, and you won a treble since then. How do you reflect on your time at Celtic so far, Reo?
ここまで自分自身苦しんだ時期もありましたけど、ただタイトルを取れるっていうのはやっぱり選手として一番ありがたいことですし、このチームに限ってやっぱりタイトルを取らないといけないとか、毎試合勝たないといけないっていう責任が結構強いチームだと思うんで、そこでプレーできてるっていうのはまた一つ僕自身を強くさせてくれてる経験だなと思います。
You've created a midfield partnership with Matt O'Reilly and Callum McGregor since arriving. Tell us, Reo, what is it like to play with those guys and the quality they possess?
そうですね、すごく高いレベルの選手とプレーできていることはありがたいことですし、僕自身をさらなる高みに連れて行ってくれる導いてくれると思うんで、すごく楽しんでプレーできてます。
The team have been going well this season with wins at Ibrox and the last gasp winner at Motherwell. How do you see the rest of the season going, Reo?
どのようにそんな楽なシーズンはないですし、難しいシーズンになると思うんで、チームが一丸となってタフになっていかないといけないと思いますし、僕個人的な話をするとそこにチームを助けられる仕事が一つでも多くできればいいなと思うんで、ここからまた頑張っていきたいなと思います。
And just finally, is there a message to the supporters who have been delighted since the news broke that you are extending your time at Celtic?
ファンサポーターの前でプレーできていることは本当に嬉しく思いますし、このようなチームのファンサポーターっていうのは本当に情熱を持っている方々が多いので、本当にその方々にもっともっと の記憶に残るようなプレーをしていきたいなと思うんで、これからもよろしくお願いします。
Reo, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah, such a massive player for Celtic since he joined the club. Peter, great news that he committed even more of his future to the club, because by his own admission hasn't hit the heights this season as he did in his first because of injury, but we know what talent he possesses.
Wonderful player, wonderful signing, and I think it sets out a marker for everyone. Such a talented boy, great feet, both right and left, powerful striker of the ball. Obviously we've seen that a few times. Nothing was a better way to get in the hearts of the Celtic supporters, obviously, than scoring 2 against Rangers, and that's something that will live on forevermore. And listen, he's a special player with a special talent. He knows the game. He's probably not hit the heights, as he says, because his season's been probably broke up a little bit. But there's no doubt in his talent. He has, as I say, he's got wonderful feet. He's really, really powerful as well. He's really strong. I don't think you see him when people are trying to knock him off the ball, his balance on the ball. And to be fair to all the Japanese boys, you see them prior to the match, how well they keep themselves in shape and ready and prepared for a match. It's not just about the game. Off the pitch as well, they look after themselves so well, pre and post match, which is interesting. See, I know people make a laugh about him even jogging around the stadium with his bare feet.
Yeah.
But these are wee things they do that they feel is important for them. And I think he's going to be a big, big player. As I say, this season so far, I think he's starting to find his form, you know. And I think once he finds that type of form, we've got a special player on our hands.
That 3 in the midfield of McGregor, Hatate and O'Reilly, what are the characteristics that Hatate's got that Brendan Rodgers sees as so important? Different to the other 2, perhaps?
Probably not different. I think he's got a powerful strike on him, that's for sure. He sees pictures. I think he's one of these ones. Like the 3 of them are very fortunate. They're not the same, but they're all good footballers, if you understand what I'm trying to say. They're all comfortable in possession. They all know the system that the manager plays. They can move in and out of shape. They know where they should be on the football field. They're always available for a pass, which is important for a midfield player. But they can also see pictures. They maybe not always hit the right pass at the right time, but I think with these players, the balance is fantastic, and I just think he's going to get better and stronger as the season goes on. There is absolutely no doubt in my mind of that. And when he's at his best, there's not many players in the British Isles as good as him as a midfield player. And I know people say, oh, that's high praise, but that's what he deserves, because he's that type of player and he's got that type of quality, because we've seen it.
Yeah, we have indeed. So he is alongside Callum McGregor and Matt O'Reilly in that midfield. Matt O'Reilly is one of these players, Peter. I mean, he was successful under Ange Postecoglou, and he's been successful under Brendan Rodgers. Individually, you'd have to say he's upped his game. He's changed his game. We've had a look in maybe the comparisons between last year and this year and his role. We know he's added goals to his game. This is last year, and perhaps you can explain to us the difference between the way he is in situations like this to where he is this season.
Well, you've seen the arrow you put in there, and Matt would probably be running in the box at this time. But now he's supplying it, he sees the pictures. But it's like all good players, Jerry. He sees the space, he fills the space, he picks the passes, he knows where his teammates are. I'll not kill the areas. So if there's a space out wide to create some space for someone else, it's just a small
now this
detail.
is this year, this is this season.
But listen, he's not even done it last year as well. But I think the role was slightly different, especially last year, because when Callum was out for a period of time. But Matt spoke about it actually, saying that Kyogo coming short and Matt getting in the box, all these things. He's got that freedom to get in the box and get more goals. Brendan spoke about he wants him to get more goals. He's more than capable of that. But all good players, you see even here at the goal last week, the midfielder takes his eye off the ball, but good midfield players don't. And Matt continues to go in the last kick of the game and gets the winning goal. And that's probably summed up his season. But I think a big part of his game has been his defensive duties as well. Yep. The amount of interceptions he's had in the big games against Rangers, the areas he picks up to win control of the ball without putting a tackle in. He intercepts the ball and then uses it exceptionally well. I just think he's another one that's only going to get better and better. He's added goals to it, as you say, but I think his defensive duties as a midfield player, because it's difficult for Callum to do that on his own. So you have to get back in as a midfield player, because that's your role. You've got to support the attackers and you've got to defend and help your defenders. That's his role in the team. He does it exceptionally well so far this season.
And we know that if McGregor and Hatate and O'Reilly are on their game, then there's very few, if any, teams in Scotland that can stop them, and you know the game's essentially controlled from that midfield position. Kilmarnock, ironically, they did do that. They managed to keep Callum McGregor fairly quiet in the game in the League Cup, and it led to them winning. But they've been pretty poor since then. I'm sure Denny McInnes maybe thought that would have kick-started the season. He'd already beaten Rangers in the league, but 6 games since then in the league, and they haven't won any of them. What do you put that down to?
But you've got to remember, when you're playing against Celtic, these teams don't concede. In the other games, he's asked to come out and score goals as well as not concede goals. You know, there's a slight difference. With Celtic, you're hoping you get one chance, a set play, whatever. You know, and Derek will work on that. All week he'll be drilling them on set plays this week. There's absolute doubt. We maybe not create a lot of chances, but what we've got to do is keep tight, make sure we don't concede early, because it could be a long afternoon. And it doesn't surprise me that defensively, but if you look at their games, they're like 1-1s and 1-0s and 2-1s. They're very, very tight games. What you've got to do against these teams is move the ball quickly, don't let them get against you, and hopefully you're going to take your chances when they come along, because that knocks the stuffing from them. They'll want to defend the middle of the pitch, hopefully shove you wide so you're going to cross the ball in, and they'll be hoping their big defenders will be able to deal with that.
Kick-off here at Celtic Park about 10 minutes away. Before that, let's hear from a man who is performing really well in the centre of Celtic's defence. Liam Scales is with John Ledwith.
Liam, it's gone full on Glasgow with the weather today, but you'll be looking forward to the chance to put another 3 points on the board even this early in the season.
Yeah, it's shocking out there what we're used to, but yeah, definitely. Coming into the international break, it's important to get 3 points on the board.
For you, it's been a great season so far. You had an excellent season last year. Has it been a pleasant surprise to see as much activity so far this season, and of course enjoying how you're playing?
Yeah, definitely. I'm loving it. I'm loving getting game time, playing games, play big games as well. It's massively enjoyable for me.
And the one thing that does change today, Cameron Carter-Vickers will be in beside you. That sort of experience will be useful on the pitch.
Yeah, definitely. Cam's brilliant. Look, it's just, we're strong, whoever lines up, you know. So now I'm looking forward to playing beside him.
We know Kilmarnock will make it tough, but it's a huge contrast from the game on the dry AstroTurf pitch to the game today. Are you expecting it to be a more open affair?
Yeah, it should be. They're obviously very difficult to play away from home, but at home, you know, we fancy ourselves against everyone. So it should be different from last time.
Best of luck, Liam.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Cheers.
Takes a shot. Oh, and it's in the back of the net. Well, that must have taken Doris de Vries by surprise. I think it's taken the whole of Celtic Park by surprise. It's Lustig plays it into the box. It's Dembele. It's in the back of the net. Tierney cuts it back. It's a chance for Dembele. It's the back of the net. The Frenchman scored again. Forrest on the wing inside to Rogic. Rogic back towards Forrest. Forrest a chance to number 3. Plays it with the outside of his right foot. It's characteristic Forrest. Sinclair with the corner kick, the first of the second half. And it's in the back of the net. Beaton through to Griffiths. Griffiths into the box. It's surely a penalty. And it is. Well, he sends him the wrong way. On his left foot. Plays it low. And it's in the back of the net. Takes a bobble over Jamie McDonald.
(6-1). We take a bit of that today, Peter. How do you fancy winning £10,000 as well? Well, you can, but only if you take part in today's Paradise Windfall draw. That's the jackpot prize for one lucky winner. Get yourself a ticket via the Celtic Pools app. Please visit begambleaware.org. All right, so kick-off about 8 minutes away. Peter, we've had a look at the Celtic's goals in recent weeks and tried to kind of figure out some sort of key areas within that, and maybe you could talk us through some of these goals. Celtic like to tire defences out, the movement up front, the overloading in defence, drawing defensive mistakes, leaving 3 men, for instance. Is this just poor defending in general, or is there something in the design of the way Brendan Rodgers plays that eventually leads to this?
Well, if you're the opponent, you're saying it's poor defending. But what you're looking at with the Celtic boys is they're not getting sucked towards where the markers are. They're working away from their marker. You can see the spaces at the back. Look at Matt O'Reilly here. Everybody's getting dragged towards the ball. All their eyes are on the ball, but Matt's seeing where the space is. And that's what good players do. They find gaps. It was like Reo Hatate's run. Greg Taylor was playing exceptionally well. A lot of space in this game. Makes a great run. Penalty kick they get from it. Midfielders running in the box. You'll see here again, the midfielder looks at him, Payton looks at him, but he watches him this time, Matt O'Reilly. The next time, watch this one. Doesn't watch him, looks at him, takes his eye off him. Matt O'Reilly keeps going again this time and gets the goal. So it's making sure you continually go in there and get the opportunities. Don't give up. Try and overload, as you say, because that's what you're trying to do, whether it's 2v1, 3v2, 4v3. You're trying to get the overloads in the box. But also, if they get sucked, the opposition gets sucked towards the ball, you've got to try and stay away from it so the ball's going to be attracted to you. And listen, space doesn't score goals, men do. and that's the most important thing, that you find that space, and the more bodies you get in the box, the more opportunities you're going to get to do that.
Let's hear from Celtic manager Brendan Rodgers then. He's been speaking to John Ledwith.
Brendan, I'll start with the team news today. There's a couple of changes. If I can look at them individually, Cameron Carter-Vickers coming back at the start. A lot of experience, a reassuring presence in the team.
Yeah, he's been a fantastic player for Celtic in his career here so far. So, yeah, we got him some game time the other night, 30 minutes, and then obviously just continuing, getting him back up to full fitness. So yeah, so good to have him back.
And at the other side of the pitch, Lewis Palmer came in late in the window. He looks to be having an impact now, and is this reward today for that impact from the bench?
Yeah, I think it's with all the players that have come in. I don't expect them to be up to speed, and I think this first season for them coming in and adapting to the style of play, the intensity, and obviously they have to adapt to the winning mentality. But he's shown up well when he's come on and featured in the games, and it's a nice chance for him to come in and start.
Now the fans are going to negotiate difficult conditions to get to the stadium today, but are you confident conditions on that pitch will be perhaps better than they were in the previous fixture with Kilmarnock this season on a dry artificial surface?
Yeah, well, firstly, hopefully the supporters can get here safely, and like the weather is really bad. So hopefully they can all get here in time for the kick-off. And secondly, the pitch, obviously the guys do a really good job here with the pitch, so with the rain, it'll obviously make it nice and slick, and that suits our game.
Best of luck today, Brendan.
Cheers, thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. We hope that every fan gets to the ground safely. A lot of the public transport has had to be cancelled because of flooding. An awful lot of rain in the east end of Glasgow this morning. I think it's fairly dry just now, but Peter, you experienced it coming in here as well, and I think you can see by the empty seats that a lot of supporters are struggling to get to the ground in time for kick-off. The flip side of that, as Brendan says, is that the surface will be nice and greasy. And why do players like that?
I just think the speedy play that Celtic have. They like to move the ball quickly, and if you control and pass the ball quickly, you've always got an opportunity to get by the opposition. Like say Palmer coming in today, he'll be 1v1 situations, defenders go to ground, could get you penalty kicks, all these small things. Goalkeepers think it's a nightmare. But the only thing is, the pleasing thing is there's not a strong wind, because usually when it's a strong wind, if you ask any footballer or any manager, the last thing they want is wind. They'll accept the rain all day long, and as I say, it should suit out here. The pitch is in magnificent condition. The fans have done fantastically well to get here, the ones that have so far.
So for those watching at home, it could actually make it an entertaining game.
Oh, absolutely, 100%, because you want to play quick. You want people to make mistakes. That's what happens in this type of... you're hoping there's not water lies in the pitch, because then you have a problem. That's when the referee makes decisions then. We've had so much rain today, but the way the pitch is looking out there, it's tremendous, and great credit to Hazy and the gang for looking after it so well.
Yeah, John Hayes, the head groundsman here at Celtic Park, he's been here a number of years, hasn't he? Over 40 years, I think, John Hayes.
He's on his fourth testimonial, is he?
Yeah, I think so, something like that. The unsung heroes in the background at Celtic. We don't want to count your chickens and talk too much about the league table, but the fans are, and you know, briefly, we're only at match day 8, but there is a gap developing there at the top. Celtic, of course, ahead of St Mirren in second. There's an Edinburgh derby today. If Hearts win that, they go above Rangers into third. Potentially a chance to go 10 points ahead of Rangers, who are, you know, traditionally our biggest rivals at this stage of the season. We can see here that gap is coming pretty early in the season.
You want the gap to go as big as you possibly can. It doesn't matter if it's early in the season. You want to be as far in front as you possibly can. And this is a fantastic game to win as well, obviously going into an international break, because you're hoping then that guys get more time on the training pitch. You hope guys don't get injured when they're away with the national team, obviously. But as I say, you want the gap as big as you can. And people say you don't want it, you never win a league early in the season. You do, because you put the points in front, and it's very, very difficult for people to come and catch you from behind. And bear in mind, at this moment in time, we're able to play with the Champions League games, predominantly most games on a Saturday. And the other games, Rangers, for instance, are playing on Thursdays at this moment in time, so they don't play a Sunday. So all these wee things psychologically are massive. So the more points you get in front, the better, and long may it continue.
Well, the team's coming out onto the pitch, led by Callum McGregor, of course. Let's go high up into the Celtic Park gantry for your commentary team today, Paul Cudahy and Simon Donnelly.
Yes, match day 8 in the Scottish Premiership, and so far so good for Celtic. 6 wins and 1 draw. 7 games played, 19 points gathered. Of course, the only blip domestically was against today's opposition, that game down at Rugby Park.
1-0 victory for Kilmarnock that knocked Celtic out of the League Cup, but Celtic this afternoon will be looking to maintain their impressive form in the Premiership. And as we heard from Brendan Rodgers there, talking to John Ledwith, he's made 2 changes from midweek. Luis Palma, of course, who scored that goal that was so cruelly denied by the offside flag. He gets a start this afternoon, as does Cameron Carter-Vickers. What a cheer he got when he came on in midweek, and he makes his first start since the middle of August, partnering the impressive Liam Scales in the heart of defence this afternoon. So a very, very strong Celtic 11 this afternoon. Kyogo with his first Champions League goal. He'll be looking to get on the score sheet again this afternoon. Denny McInnes also makes 2 changes this afternoon. One of those enforced Kyle McGuinness, who has suffered a long-term hamstring injury. They'll see him out for between 8 to 10 weeks. Robbie Dees, Celtic Academy graduate, didn't manage to make any first-team appearances for Celtic. He comes back into the lineup. He'll partner another Academy graduate in Stuart Finlay. The referee this afternoon is Matthew McDermott, as the Celtic players about to go into the huddle wearing the green and white hoops. Kilmarnock with their change strip, red top, dark blue shorts, red socks. As Jerry said, the weather here in the west of Scotland, in fact I think most of Scotland, has been pretty atrocious, so a lot of people finding it difficult to get to the stadium this afternoon, but it has fair play to everyone who has braved the weather and made it along here this afternoon, looking for an important 3 points. Of course, this the last game before Celtic go into the international break. They will want to sign off with a victory this afternoon. And certainly in terms of performance from Wednesday night, it was very impressive. There was that obviously late heartache in terms of the late goal, but so many positives that Brendan Rodgers' side can take from it. We're just waiting for the referee's whistle. It will be the visitors to get the game underway, and we